There's something strange about the people who let their birthday pass like it's nothing. While everyone else is planning weeks in advance, posting countdowns, curating the perfect celebration, they're silent. Not because they forgot. It's not because no one cares, but because somewhere along the way, they learned that wanting less hurts less. And no one talks about why. You know who I'm talking about? Maybe you are who I'm talking about. So here's the question. What does it mean when one day is designed to make you feel special, doesn't it? Let's start with what it looks like from the outside. Your birthday is tomorrow. Someone asks what you're doing. You shrugged. Nothing really. They look at you like you're broken, like you're refusing joy on purpose. That's not what's happening, is it? You're not being difficult. You're being careful. Because here's the thing. Birthdays ask something of you. They ask you to believe just for one day that you matter in a way that's undeniable, that people will show up, that the effort will be made, the love you hope exists will actually prove itself. And that feels dangerous. So let's talk about control. Birthdays are one of the few days where other people decide how you're celebrated. They pick the place. They choose the gift. They orchestrate the moment. And you sit there, center stage, waiting to see if their version of caring matches what you needed. For people who need autonomy, who've learned that the safest way to move through life is to steer your own ship, that loss of control feels suffocating. Psychologists call it an internal locus of control. You're someone who believes you shape your reality. But on your birthday, you're handed a script you didn't write. You become the passenger in your own story. And maybe, somewhere deep down, you've learned that when you're not in control, things go wrong. But here's what's fascinating. Some people avoid their birthday not because they don't want attention. They avoid it because they want it too much. Let me show you what I mean. You're young. Maybe 8, maybe 12. You've imagined this day for weeks. The perfect cake. Your favorite people. That one thing you've been hoping for. You built it up in your mind until it glows. And then, it doesn't happen. Your mom forgets something. Friends cancel. Someone says something dismissive. The day you thought magic felt ordinary, or worse, disappointing. Your brain records that moment, not consciously, but deep in your nervous system. A pattern forms. Expecting something means risking heartbreak. So you stop expecting. You tell yourself it doesn't matter. You treat your birthday like a normal day, not because you don't care, but because caring has cost you before. It's not indifference. And this is where it gets complex. Because some of you, maybe most of you, aren't skipping your birthday because you've given up on it. You're skipping it because the version in your head is too perfect to risk. Psychologists call this idealization paralysis. You have this beautiful, flawless vision of what your birthday could be. The right people, the right moment. The feeling of being seen in exactly the way you've always wanted, but reality. Reality is messy. People are late. Conversations feel awkward. The moment you imagine doesn't materialize. So instead of risking disappointment, you protect the fantasy. You keep the perfect birthday safe in your mind by never testing it in the real world. From the outside, it looks like you don't care. But inside, you care intensely. You're just terrified that the real thing will never match what you've been quietly longing for. Psychologist Brené Brown calls this foreboding joy. The inability to fully embrace happiness because you already bracing for it to be taken away. You're not avoiding your birthday. You're avoiding heartbreak. But here's the truth. Most people won't tell you. Birthdays are mortality reminders. Every candle on that cake is another year you've survived. Another year closer to the end. And while some people cope by celebrating harder, I'm alive. Let's party. Others cope through quiet avoidance. Terror management theorists, that's the actual term, suggests that humans are uniquely burdened by the awareness of our own death, and birthdays, they're annual reminders that time is moving, that you're aging, that the clock is always ticking. For some personality types, minimizing milestone celebrations is a subconscious way to soften that existential weight. You're not sitting there thinking, this birthday brings me closer to the void. But your nervous system feels it. Treating the day like nothing is a way of saying, I am not ready to sit with that yet. Now, let's pause for a second, because not everything is trauma or avoidance. Some of you grew up in cultures where birthdays just weren't a thing, where individual celebration wasn't emphasized, where family mattered more than personal milestones. If that's your baseline, treating your birthday casually isn't psychological protection. It's just normal. You never learn that birthdays are supposed to be monumental, so you're not rejecting anything. You're just being yourself. Context always matters. And here's the twist that reframes everything. Some people who treat their birthday like a normal day are actually the most psychologically secure people in the room. Stay with me. Authentic self-worth, the real, unshakable kind, doesn't need external validation. People with secure attachment styles don't need one designated day to feel valuable. They feel it all the time. The birthday's nice, but it doesn't define them. Meanwhile, people who need their birthday to be spectacular, sometimes not always, but sometimes that need comes from not feeling special the other 364 days. Food for thought. So what's the psychology of people who skip their birthdays? It's control, it's protection, it's impossible standards, it's existential anxiety, it's cultural programming, it's authentic self-worth. Or maybe it's just that, on some level, you've learned that the safest way to move through the world is to need less, to expect less, to make yourself small enough that disappointment can't find you. And I want you to know that makes sense. Anyone who's been forgotten, overlooked, or let down on a day that was supposed to matter would learn the same lesson. But here's what I also want you to know. You're allowed to want more. You're allowed to care. You're allowed to admit that maybe, just maybe, you've been protecting yourself from something you actually still long for. Awareness is where choice begins. So the next time your birthday rolls around and you feel that familiar urge to let it pass, quietly pause. Ask yourself, am I choosing this? Or is this what I learned to do when choosing felt too risky? Because you deserve to be celebrated, not by a crowd, not with perfection, but in a way that feels true. Even if that means celebrating yourself quietly on your own terms. You've always been enough. The question is, are you ready to believe it? If this felt like it was written for you, the next video goes even deeper into the psychology of self-worth and how we learn to protect ourselves from wanting too much. I think you'll find it just as revealing. If you want to support videos like this, ones that try to see you, not fix you, consider subscribing or joining as a channel member. It means more than you know. Thank you for being here. I'll see you in the next one.